All right, hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. First and foremost, thank you, Harold, for hosting the stream. Appreciate that very much. Thanks to everybody who's hanging out. If you're currently a subscriber to the channel, you can throw a bear or Lego or scythe emote in the chat like I'm about to, or just say hi, whatever you want to do. We're gonna hang out here for a few minutes, just chatting a little bit, pre-gaming as it were, before we get into the build portion of the stream. Mr. Bob is here. Hi, Mr. Bob. Um, I am expecting a low turnout. Monday is occasionally kind of busy here, sometimes not busy. Um, but Crunch Hardtack is here. Hello, Crunch. I do understand that some people are avoiding Twitch today and tomorrow. And I understand that as the parent company of Twitch is Amazon. Totally get that. Dude wants his rug is here. Hello. Um, uh, and yeah, I mean, it was brought up on Thursday if I was going to stream today, and I talked about it a bit on Saturday. Kind of came up with the game plan where I'm not gonna. My bandana is being odd. It's annoying me, and I don't know why. There, bandana was being weird. That's besides the point. But basically, I'm not going to link to my Amazon wish list today, um, and I won't. I will again on Thursday. I won't today. Um, and I haven't bought anything from Amazon today, but if people have, I totally understand. Um, but the reason I'm streaming today is basically one, um, continuing to be on a schedule is good for me as a streamer, and streaming is a source of income. Now, the money I make through Twitch and Patreon and coffee, any coffee donations that come in while I'm streaming, those all go to me buying more model kits. So while it is income coming in, it offsets the price that I would spend out of my own pocket to buy model kits and Lego sets that I would build on stream. So if I get $100 from Twitch a month, that's $100 that's not coming out of my pocket to buy kits and equipment, so I can keep streaming. The stand that uses, I have two monitors here, and it's on a stand, and it pivots from my computer desk to the work surface that I use. That stand is probably going to need to be replaced because I can feel it slipping a little bit. The grips isn't that great. I can probably fix that, but it also, I can feel the base where it's welded is not as secure as it was. I can feel that every time I move it. So eventually that's going to fall apart, and I'm going to replace it. And that money comes out of the funds I set aside that come from my Patreon and Twitch being an affiliate, and my coffee. Um, Otherwise, that would come out of just my pocket. And I'm not making much money these days, unfortunately. So this stuff helps. The other reason why I am streaming tonight is because uh, it feels good. Model kit building, chatting with y'all, hearing what's going on with you, talking out what's going on in my head. I talked to a solitary person today. So today was a lot of emails and a lot of text messages, but I didn't really use my voice much today. So streaming legitimately helps my mental state. Uh, Model kit building and chatting and talking are good for me, so I'm gonna do it. And I understand if tonight is a light audience wise. I understand if some folks were not thrilled with the idea that I would be streaming. Um, I understand. Uh, Hello. It's going all right. We're just kind of explaining why I'm streaming tonight. Um, Folks in Amazon workers in Minnesota who struck for 6 hours today in the transition from the morning to the evening shift. There was a strike that happened. There was a strike in Germany, and at least one other European country did a strike. And there was a solidarity strike. These are Amazon warehouse employees. And then there was a solidarity strike in the European Union. I forget exactly the specifics of it. Um, It wasn't a national strike, uh, and and even the employees didn't have a particular like please boycott Amazon. It was mostly saying, hey, Prime Day is disrupted by us not working. Please listen to what we're asking for. I am always in favor of union action, always in favor of unions, always in favor of strikes and sympathy strikes and boycotts, certainly. Um, but all boycotts come with a built in privilege. If you say, I don't support these causes, I don't support these businesses, I choose to take my money elsewhere, I'm using capitalism to my benefit or to attempt my benefit, that is, I fully support that. I will always support that. Putting your money where your mouth is, and by extension, putting your keeping your money out of the places you don't want to put it. I totally respect that and totally get that. Um, but I do not, at this moment, feel privileged enough to avoid doing what I enjoy doing, which is streaming on Twitch. Uh, so yeah, reminder: if you're a subscriber and it's time to renew, please renew. It's the 15th, so we are at the middle of the month. I'll have a new set of my schedule for the rest of July coming up soon. And we're going to get to building in a moment or two. I have a couple of things to talk about tonight that are fun, that are lighter than this, but I did want to take a moment opportunity and also have it be archived in the YouTube because this will be on YouTube later. Um, yeah, I think that's it. We'll get started with the building in a moment or two. Yeah. All right, let's get going. Let me go to the overhead here. We're working on Goku from Super Dragon Ball Super. This is the Ultra Instinct version of Goku. You can see there's Goku. Ultra Instinct is a state of being. It is closer to the Kaioken than to, say, going Super Saiyan. Um, it is a thing that it. I guess it's like the Speed Force if you're for the Flash. It's like a state of mind and a state of ability that one doesn't train, one just finds themselves in due to excessive training and being a real badass who loves to fight. And Goku enters into Ultra Instinct. If Krillin were Ultra Instinct, would anyone know? Nice parallel, since he's one drunk. I appreciate that. Krillin does have eyebrows. And also, sometimes Krillin has hair. But the easiest way to notice is that anyone that is entering Ultra Instinct, the air crickles and crackles around them, and they have an aura that feels very unique. So it's not just like a Super Saiyan hair change thing. There is more to it. So I would say that if Krillin went Ultra Instinct, it would be noticeable. Well, also in Super, Krillin is a cop, which is its own fucking thing. But Krillin decides to use his martial arts training to help people to earn a living for his family the best way he can. Does Krillin have some form of power up? Mr. Bob, no. Krillin is just a baseline strong human via training. I do not believe that there, as far as I remember, there is not a point in the show at any time where Krillin. Okay, here we go. Hey, Lord Crashington, and hello, Ultron. I'm throwing the bear cave on there for friends. The only thing, yes, I was about to say Ultron. The Elder Namekian unlocked hidden potential within Krillin, which led to him powering up. Now, he may have been able to unlock that someday through training, but also Krillin ran out of, because you have to remember, Krillin was never trained by King Kai. He wasn't dead. Yeah, Mystic Krillin did. So King Kai never trained him. Unlike Tien and Chaozu and Piccolo and Yamcha. So he never got the ability to train under King Kai, but the Elder Namekian unlocked his hidden potential. So that allowed him to power up some. But that is, I believe, the extent of that. Uh, that sucks because he did not get murdered. He missed out on that. Yes, Mr. Bob, the one time that Krillin didn't get murdered, he missed out on some cool training. But he's been trained by a lot of cool people as well, and also had his abilities unlocked, and that's very helpful. So he did have that, at least. Um, I mean, in Super, he's not even the strongest human in the world because it is arguable, but focused, uh, not thinking about dirty thoughts, um, Turtle Hermit, Master Roshi, is, one could argue, stronger than Krillin in in Dragon Ball Super in the tournament. And of course, 18 is hard to argue. 18 has Android. 18 is a cyborg, so she's not a pure human in that sense. So uh, she is definitely stronger, and 17 are definitely stronger than Krillin. But yeah, one could argue that the Master Roshi is. Krillin comes from a long line of noseless people, says Lurkest. Yeah, we don't know anything about Krillin's past or parentage or anything like that. I mean, we know that Krillin was trained with monks because that's why he shaved his head, and uh, he had some self-esteem issues because he wasn't as strong as those guys, and some of them were bullies. So when he went to go be trained by Master Roshi, he was trained so that he could stand up to them. And he thought that he was tough shit comparatively, so he tried to boss around Goku. But Goku is obviously way stronger than him. Is Oob in Super? No. So Super takes place. Also, hi, Para. So Super takes place. Basically, the last tournament, the tournament where you in Dragon Ball. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, they flash forward to the tournament. Pan's a little girl. Pan is fighting in the tournament. She's cute. It's a whole thing. And then Oob shows up. There's a big fight, and the Dragon Ball Z ends with Goku being like, "I'm gonna go with Oob to his home area and train him and help him become a great fighter so that I can fight him because he doesn't have anybody to train him." So that's how. So that's how they deal with that. But all of Super basically says that tournament didn't happen. So Boo is defeated, and this is what takes place before the tournament of Pow, that tournament. So yes, so in Super, Para and Lord are bringing this up. In Super, Goku can sense that the energy of evil Boo, because good Boo is still there, that evil Boo is still, like, his energy has been reborn because Goku wished, as evil Boo was being defeated, Goku wished that, I hope someday you're reincarnated as someone that I can fight, or something to that effect. So that's what ends up happening. We get the reincarnated of evil into Oob. Majin Oob can still happen, Ultron. Yes. The events of GT theoretically could still happen. Now, a lot of shit happens that they'd have to retcon, including the fact that they changed the name of Vegeta and Bulma's daughter, and she's not Bra, which is good. And a bunch of other shit happens, including Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Like, a bunch of shit happens, and it doesn't make any sense, and wouldn't really work in the plot lines, but whatever. But yeah, and Broly's canon, yes. So, theoretically, they could continue along the path they're doing, get to where they ended with Dragon Ball Z, and then continue on, thus creating the character. Uh, and there's some fan art of a artist who works on some stuff that's in a semi-official capacity, who is not an official. It wasn't official like art. It was fan art of Oob, like in Dragon Ball Super, like as a young boy training as best he can with whoever will train him to be a martial artist. Uh, it's canon. He is not dead. Oh, the rabbit that got sent to the moon. Yeah, I think the rabbit and the other guys survived. I think they said survived the blast from Piccolo when Piccolo destroyed the moon. Yeah, I believe so. I mean, that's the other thing you have to remember is people asked. So in towards the end of Dragon Ball GT, there is we do see and in Z we do see lunch. Lunch is not in Super because according to Toriyama, he forgot that lunch exists. He just completely forgot about that character. He was like, oh yeah, that's why she's not in it because he goofed, which is a whole thing because people were wondering, which might be the best. Lord Crashington, look, the idea of a personality changing character sneezing, and both. It's there's a thing that I know that tough as nails, violent blonde lunch really likes Tien, but I don't know how just chill, kind of ditzy, dark-haired lunch feels about him, and I don't know if that's ever been addressed, which is interesting. There's a lot going on there. I don't know. Lunch was a fun character and clearly didn't need to, you know, be forgotten. Especially since part of Super introduces a new lady who, like, tries to ruin Tien's dojo. And I can't remember why, but she definitely does. She's cool, but she's objectified by Roshi most of her time in Dragon Ball. Oh, certainly. I mean, look, she a lot of the gags from her come from like it is a very funny gag when the Red Ribbon Army show up and the turtle uses a thing to make her sneeze, so she freaks out and she's just like, "What are you doing here?" and like kicks some ass. That is fun, but for the most part, she is used as a character to be, for some gross Roshi times, certainly. Um, but also that is a lot of Dragon Ball. Unfortunately, a lot of Dragon Ball is bullshit Roshi shit. Not cool Roshi stuff. All right, so all of the stickers are on the legs. You know, one would hope that if there was a such thing as a master grade version of these Dragon Ball kits, that you would not have to deal with so many stickers. Uh, but that is the price one pays. 3 and 4. But yeah. Let's see. I am just certainly interested in seeing what more Dragon Ball we get in the future. Brawly doing very well is internationally is a great sign of things to come. I overall did like Super. I think that there's a lot to there. I think I hate the word cringe, but yes, Roshi cooled my plan on rewatching. Yeah, Mr. Bob. The Roshi stuff is hard to go back to. Um, it always makes me happy when an old man is introduced in modern day anime, and they're not creepy. And they could be weird, but they're not like horn dogs. That trope has decreased some. I mean, obviously, anime is still nonsense and sometimes awful, but it has characters that are terrible. I talk about Black Clover and how it sucks that every time I talk about Clover, I have to go. Also, there's a character named Gotch who has a cool power, but is also in love with his little sister, and it's played for laughs and sucks. Like I hate that I have to say that. Or when people talk about uh, oh, I love My Hero Academia. There's so many great characters, and it's such an interesting take on like a Japanese manga lover of American superhero tropes, and it's like a shonen show, but definitely approachable to people that don't think they like that or or whatever, and they go through this whole thing, and then they're like, oh, also there's one kid that sucks. He just sucks, and he's a pervert, and he sucks. It's just like I hate that. I wish that wasn't part of it. That you didn't have to say that shit, but it's true. That used to be common. Oh, certainly. That's the thing, is that those kind of characters uh, were comic relief. Yeah, I mean Roshi is is like is pretty typical of a character. He's like very strong and very cool, and sometimes he kicks a lot of ass, and sometimes he disguises himself as a parody of Jackie Chan, and kicks a whole lot of ass and is great, but also is a pervert. And the redemption of Roshi, quote unquote, in Dragon Ball Super is that he's like, I'm not distracted anymore, and now my potential has been unlocked. And he is way more of a competent fighter than we've ever seen him. And we've seen him be awesome, but he is. It's kind of nice in Super to watch him be pretty fucking rad. Uh, but also, it's still not great. And also, certainly does not excuse past behaviors by any stretch of the imagination. All right, so we got a shoe that we got to put a bunch of stickers on, and then we'll finish up with our sticker work. So let's do some sticker shoeing, or shoe stickers. I'm trying to think if there's any show right now where there's a just pervert character that makes it hard to watch. I mean, there's some stuff in. Well, let's see. I'm going to look at my list of things that I'm watching right now. Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? No. I mean, there's only one episode of that. Dr. Stone so far? No. Cheat Magician, I bet we'll see more of that. Are You Lost has some jokes in it. I like Are You Lost. There's not a lot of slice of life right now that I'm interested in, and that's so far been an interesting slice of life. But some of the comedy is a little bit like High School Girls, am I right? A little more than I would enjoy, that I would appreciate. So, but overall, it's still good. It just got some like moments. Black Clover, as I said, Black Clover has Gouch, which is just makes it hard to recommend that series because he sucks so much. Um, yeah, Demon Lord Retry, as I said, I think Demon Lord Retry seems interesting, but the second episode did feature him spanking a character as a punishment because he's so much stronger than her that he didn't want to hurt her. Other than that, and it was played for laughs, but it wasn't great. It wasn't great. I mean, every character in the opening of that is a lady except for one other dude, so I kind of know what kind of isekai it's going to be. But I will say, the dude that's in there is shirtless. He's like a sport character and has like weird body hair, like hair in a design. And I don't know what's going on with that guy, but I think we're going to find out this week, and I'm excited because that dude seems pretty okay. – but overall, Uh, yeah, there's. I think Black Clover has the most like caveat character of any show I'm watching right now. Other than probably, uh, do you love your mom and her two-hit multi-target attacks is probably just gonna get worse and worse. It's probably just gonna get. I'm probably going to stop watching that show. I do want to give it one more because the overall concept of you go into a Sword Art Online style RPG that is like fully immersive and you get to like live the hero life, but also your mom's there, uh, is kind of a funny idea. And so I am interested in that. But I also could see that show being not good. All right, got the foot there. Let's put the other leg on. And then we'll start working on our waist uh, and our chest. Gotta build a chest too. 28. Side 15. But yeah. Yesterday I ate Domino's and watched wrestling. Watched the WWE pay per view and ate some food. Ate a lot of Domino's. And it was very good. I was very happy to do it. I what did I end up doing? Oh, so I got cheesy bread because I am very much into cheesy bread. I like that a lot with some marinara dipping sauce. Cause why not? Why wouldn't I do that? Um, and then I got a medium because it was like there's like the $6 like buy two of them. They're each $5.95 or whatever deal. It was like $5 deal or whatever it is. It was cheap to do. Um, Ultron says love some Domino. I hear you. I don't get it that often, but it felt like appropriate for the show that I was watching wrestling. Get some Domino. So I got a medium thin crust with bacon and onion. Is that the best pizza in the world? No. Did I have better pizza than that today for lunch? Yes. Cheesy bread is great, says Crunch. Totally agree. Uh, but I do like it as trash pizza. It's good trash. It was thin, and when it got cold, it was still good. The onion absorbs the bacon grease. The bacon isn't burnt because it's going through the rollers and heated up. It was, it all dipped into the marinara sauce. It was the little tiny little crust. Good trash is still good since you want to rug. Indeed, that's why I got it. It was good. We're done with stickers, so we can put this aside. We won't need that as we get into our clip in here to work on our waist here. No, it was just good. It was good trash. Uh, I was happy to partake. I like a good bad pizza, but bacon and onion. Don't sleep on that combo. The onion absorbs all the bacon grease, and it is good. Um, so anyway, I ate way too much. Domino's is still the only mainstream chain that does cornmeal crust. Hard to find a decent Domino's though. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I'm not going to get decent. I put my order in, so I got the cheesy garlic bread or cheesy bread, not garlic bread, cheesy bread, um, and I got my two topping pizza, and I picked it up, so carry out, and it was like $12, and I just sat eating a whole lot of food. I one up that combo and usually add pineapple, Scissor Bob. Okay, that's not my jam, but all right. I am not here to tell you to not eat pineapple on pizza. I am here to tell you that I do not enjoy that, but I am not here to stop you. Whoops! As my fingers slip and a piece flies into the air, hits me in the head, and then falls to the ground. That's what I get for even threatening to yuck someone's yum. There we go. I'm back in it. Um, but yeah, no, I think I drank like a liter of. I can tell you, pineapple on pizza is about 95% execution and most of them cost. Well, yeah, certainly. Um, but yeah, I think I drank like 2 liters of soda over the course of like what 4 hours. I watched a lot of wrestling because I watched like 4.5 hours because I watched half the pre-show. I missed Shinsuke Nakamura versus Finn Balor, but I was there in time to watch Drew Gulak versus Tony Nese, uh, which is the match I wanted to see. I do wish that that was not a pregame pre-show match. I think Usos, the Usos versus the Revival would have been better on the pre-show, and I would have liked to had my cool match with my boy Drew. Philly, even though he's a heel, still Philadelphia's own. Let's see, Q16. There it goes. Pineapple on a curry pizza is the bomb. I don't mind that. Pineapple on bacon is way better than a regular Hawaiian. Yeah, I mean, like, if that's y'all's thing, that's y'all's thing, and more power to you. Have fun, enjoy that shit. It's just not my thing. Anyway, I saw some very good wrestling. It ended very poorly, and then also the postscript was very poor and not great. I'm not going to harp on too much. I got to see some very good wrestling. Drew Gulak is incredible, as always. Aleister Black Cesaro is the kind of wrestling shit that I want way more of in my life. I don't see a lot of indie stuff these days, so I'm not able to see great wrestling like that all the time. Oh, so good. They're so good at what they do. So, this kit has some extra stuff to it that doesn't really come up in this build, but is included, and I will talk about it. One is, if you want, you can swap out the shirtless Goku and all his abs, and put in the traditional body, complete with shoulder pieces and the shirt. So if you want to build a version of this kit that is more like not this, and swap out the ripped top with the other regular belt, you can do that. This is the, fully damaged Goku. I also, while talking about wrestling, huge shout out there to Kevin Owens for his incredibly quick victory. I look forward to Tuesday and hearing you shit talk Shane McMahon. Congrats. Hopefully also Shinsuke will be on Tuesday, and we can hear from him as the champion, find out what kind of United States champion he will be. Not United States, Intercontinental. He won the Intercontinental from Finn Balor. That's right. Alright, so here's our Goku. We've got the weapons to build, but I did want to point out that you can, if you want to, and I will keep the sheet in there, you can put on the gi. You can take out this chest piece, you can replace it with the traditional chest there and the shoulder parts, and build that version of Goku if you want. I don't quite know why you would, but you can. And then he's got alt hands, and we'll take the alt hands out. We'll just pop those out. We don't want to save that. And then, oh yeah, this is the, if you want to do the included thing. And then we've got the your traditional weapon here. We got to build the charge Kamehameha and the throwing Kamehameha. Those are important, so we'll do that. And then we'll get going on our next kit, which, hey, just so you know, I don't know how to say right. Fenice. Fenice. I know it's Fenice. It is the Gundam Fenice Renaskita or Renasketa. Skita? Renaskita? I don't know how to say it. It's Italian. And I don't profess to be any good at any part of the language of Italy. In fact, one might say I have no business saying the name. Basically, it's the Fenice is in Gundam Build Fighters. Someone makes a variation of the Wing Gundam, and then this is the this is like the custom, the advanced, the like add-on part of that kit. So someone made like a better version of it. It's like an upgrade, and it's cool looking, and it transforms into a jet, and that shit rules. And we here on the Build-A-Bear Workshop love building kits from Gundam Wing, and we love building kits that are inspired by kits from Gundam Wing. So, and we haven't worked on just like a plain old master grade in a bit, so that'll be the next kit. But yeah, if you know how to pronounce this motherfucking kit, feel free to tell me. I went and listened to a bunch of different people say it a bunch of different ways, and I don't know. Like, I know that it's Fenice, but the pilot is Italian that rides a Vespa, but also his model rides a motorcycle. Hell yeah, it does. That fucking rules. Yeah, I don't know anything about it. I never got that far in the show. But it's, I know that it looks cool. There is I think there's a master grade of the Fenice, or there was a high grade or something. And then this is the master grade. This came out in 2015, I believe. It's a good looking kit. Oh, I should say, I know it's 2015 because it has the box that I don't like. The box design that they added in of that era, I really don't like. Anyway, so we got the Kamehameha ball, and then we'll build the Kamehameha blast. Gonna put that together. The old Kamehameha wave. Did you get the tournament in Build Fighters? I did not. I did not get that far. I did not get very far at all. It just wasn't holding my attention, and then a bunch of other stuff was coming out. I like the concept of it a lot. I think the show idea is very strong, and I could see myself getting into it sometime in the future. But overall, it did not hold my attention. I want to see it. Oh, you can kind of still see it on there. All right. But yeah, this kit is cool looking. I mean, I'm psyched to build it. I just don't have any attachment to it other than that it is ostensibly a wing kit or a version of the wing. All right, so I've got to feed these pieces here. I don't know which one it goes into. That looks right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so that goes there. And then one should be next to it. The earlier episodes gonna be left shit gets weird and it's great. Yeah, I mean I've heard good things about them. All of them. But yeah, just never really got into the show. But yeah, I kept hearing good things. All right, so then this goes in like this. But yeah, going back to wrestling, I had a good time last night watching. There were some really good matches. Like I said, uh, in general, I am opposed to Brock Lesnar is boring. He's just a boring person. He's a boring wrestler, and I don't enjoy him as an entertainer. And then also, he's a part timer. So him being champion just means that the biggest belt in the company is a part time belt because he won't be there every week. And he's definitely not going to wild card it. He's not going to show up on a. He also forgot leg day. I mean, he just doesn't focus on leg day. I'll give him a pass on that. That's okay if he doesn't think about leg day. That's the least of my concerns about it. Mostly it's that he's just not going to be there. And someone chasing him isn't going to be interesting. I'm not thrilled about it. And I look. Did I enjoy the Becky and Seth are both champions and dating? Did you know they're dating? Hey, they're dating. Hey, did we say that they're in a relationship? Oh, did you know they're actually No, I don't. Let them date. Let them date. Maybe bring it up now and again. It's fun. Don't make it part of the storyline. Don't make them have to be that part of their lives be part of the show. That's gross and I don't like it. But yeah, he's not compelling to me. When he won the briefcase, I was like, I hope that he just doesn't cash it in. Well, actually, honestly, I was hoping that he was going to lose last night. I was hoping that he was going to come in, cash in, and then Becky Lynch was going to kick him in the face. And he was going to be like, what? I don't understand. And he would have lost. I wanted Brock Lesnar to lose. I knew Brock Lesnar was not going to lose and he was going to cash in and become the Universal Champion. I will say this. I would much rather that he beat Seth Rollins, which will cause a shakeup on Raw, than if he had beaten Kofi Kingston. I do think that Kofi Kingston should lose the title to Samoa Joe in the rematch at SummerSlam, which has not been announced, but I am sure is happening. If you're telling me that that's going to happen, I am okay with that because I think that that is going to be a good program and could lead to more. But I certainly didn't want Brock to beat Kofi. So I'll take what I can get there. But yeah, overall, not happy about it. Also, Samoa Joe's overdue the top belt. Indeed, it'd be fun if he had to cash in the briefcase to take on all the champions at once to win the belt at once. Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. There's also the joke of, wait, is he also the Raw Women's Champion? But the match was over, so that's not part of it. But it would if he had tried to cash it in during the match and joined the match, then he theoretically would have won the women's title as well, which is kind of funny, but not really. I'm not invested in WWE, and I don't even want Brock to beat Kofi. Yes. I mean, it was the thing where I was like, please don't cash in on this. When the New Day won the tag belts, I was like, oh, Brock Lesnar's going to win, going to cash in on Kofi after he beats Samoa Joe. And when they had Heyman take a mic away, and so that Kofi and the New Day couldn't be interviewed, I was like, uh-oh, are we foreshadowing something here? And they weren't, thankfully. But it did make me nervous, because I don't want that. But I do think that Samoa Joe should beat, if Samoa Joe is facing Kofi Kingston at SummerSlam, then I think Samoa Joe should walk out with the championship. And then Kofi can chase if he wants to. I think that's WrestleMania to SummerSlam is a nice long time. He's had some good matches. He's had some not so great matches. Kofi Dolph is one of the least unique and interesting things possible. But a lot of that had to do with the fact that some people that were going to be in a program with Kofi didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. So, it makes sense that they had to change things up. Basically, uh, Kevin Owens didn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. So, all right. So that is our Ultra Instinct Goku. As I said, you swap out the ripped shirt for the other top if you want, but I think it's pretty cool. It was fun working on a Dragon Ball kit. I have so many of them. As I said, I did a video on it last Monday, a week ago. That's pretty good. So the other wrestling thing, as we get into our next kit, the other wrestling thing that I want to talk about is, now, the End of Days is a protected finisher. The End of Days is Baron Corbin's finisher. It has been protected. It is a move that is considered to be devastating. Now, Baron Corbin doesn't fucking win matches. He has lost twice as many matches as he's won since he's been on the main roster. So Baron Corbin doesn't win matches. But I got unbagged. Hey, folks, you get an unbagging. I didn't unbag this. I thought I did, but I didn't. Unbagging time. Pull all our stuff out. Oh, we got a stand here. That's fun. Got a stand. So, Baron Corbin did the End of Days to Becky Lynch. Now, I'm going to just go out and say it. I don't like the term intergender wrestling. I hate Baron Corbin, but he's a good heel, so I guess mission accomplished. See, here's the thing, Ultron. I don't think Baron Corbin's a good heel. I just think Baron Corbin sucks. I think Shane McMahon's a good heel. I think Elias is a very good heel. I would say that Drew McIntyre is a very good heel. I just think that Baron Corbin is not a good wrestler, not a good talker, and not a good performer. I think he's bad at things. So I dislike him because he's bad at what he does, which is wrestling. Overall, I think he is piss poor. I think he is an unlikable person, and you can feel it. I think you can feel his disdain for humanity. I would walk with Elias any day. Yeah. See, the thing is, to me, a good heel can turn face. Kevin Owens is still a heel promo-wise. We just like him right now because he's speaking truth to power, but he's not dumbing down to the audience. What he's saying and what Daniel Bryan are saying are different, but we're supposed to not like Daniel Bryan and we boo him. But we are cheering Kevin Owens being basically Stone Cold Steve Austin. The WrestleMania Triple Elias concert was amazing. Yeah, I thought that was very funny. But I do think that... So anyway, Baron Corbin hits the End of Days on Becky Lynch. Takes out Becky Lynch. We don't see Becky Lynch again for the rest of that match. Let's take aside the idea that that Seth is having trouble against Baron Corbin, which he shouldn't be. He should not be having trouble against Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin can't wrestle on the pay-per-view. Can't win a pay-per-view match to save his life. Let's take that out of the equation. I do not like you hit your wrestling finisher on my girlfriend, who is the man who is ostensibly one of the toughest people, who they say is the only person to pin Ronda Rousey, which is not true. Ronda Rousey has lost in tag matches, but the only person to get a clean pin on. But yeah, Becky Lynch gets hit with this finisher and is just out, and that causes Seth Rollins to go into a rage, and then Seth Rollins just does his finishing move a bunch and beats the shit out of him. And it's like, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't like the term intergender because it assumes that it's pretty. I think all gender wrestling. I think non-gendered wrestling is a better term for it. But whatever you want to call it, the idea of not fencing in, not separating divisions due to perceived gender, I am all for. There is even someone who right now is on the injured list that has a plethora of experience in that style of match, and that's Ruby Riott. Because Ruby Riott made a name for herself as Heidi Lovelace in Chikara, and subsequently fought a lot of dudes in Chikara. She fought a ton of dudes in Chikara. And Becky Lynch actually has one of the few matches in WWE history, modern history, that are intergender. She fought James Ellsworth on a SmackDown, I think, or a Raw. I think it was SmackDown. Now, he's a comedy character, and that's probably why they did it, or were allowed to, quote unquote. I also know that there are still statutes in counties and states in the United States where you cannot do this type of match. There are the wrestling authority in different regions of the country are underneath the boxing commissions in certain states, and depending on the county and the state, there are ordinances that say you can't do that. There are places that Chikara doesn't go to because of that, and Beyond doesn't go to because of that, and other promotions that have mixed gender wrestling. So there are places where where those folks just don't go because of that. And to me, what happened last night, the idea that we saw Ronda Rousey take down Triple H. We've seen that. We've seen that at WrestleMania. Like that, and the other side of it is tough. It's not impossible to do, to have a heel male hit a female babyface. That is possible. For some people, it kicks in their flight instincts. They're not interested in that. I don't know if there ever will be people. There's some people who just never going to be into that. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. But yeah, watching Ruby Riott fight as a babyface against a heel, totally. I've watched a bunch of different people. I mean, Kimberly made her name in that when she became the first female grand champion in Chikara, and thus a major independent promotion. It's first woman to ever reach that heights. When I was booking UCBW, a comedy wrestling league, we were doing shows often for audiences that are not wrestling. They're not necessarily full wrestling fans. And what we found is it is hard to have a heel lady fight a face dude. Because inherently, a portion of your audience, no matter what, is going to be like, you shouldn't do that. And it's outdated, and it's bullshit. When you have a character like the Big Boss Lady, my friend Nicole was a trained performer, could wrestle. She could have been a wrestler if she'd wanted to. Instead, she pursued comedy and various other endeavors, but also comedy. Nicole's character was that she was the boss, the big boss lady. She was like a corporate, power-hungry boss character. And she was getting, occasionally, if she fought a guy, she would get some sympathy if she hit a dude. And she had to be like, or a dude hit her. And she had to be like, whatever. And it was a weird thing. It wasn't impossible, but it wasn't easy. But that doesn't mean that it means you shouldn't. It doesn't mean we shouldn't do this. It just means that care has to be taken when you're doing something like that. Because it can be, there are people who are just going to be like, nah. But if you had Drew Gulak versus Bailey at 205 Live, if Bailey showed up and was like, I want to fight Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak could apply so much heelish intent that would be amplified by fighting a strong babyface who was just like, bring it on, bring it on, I could take it, I could take whatever you could dish out. It'd be a very compelling match. And then there'd be people who were like, I can't be into this. Uh, because it envisions that, because a lot of that, people envision domestic violence. And that's all they can see. And I get that. I understand that. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And I can see their points. And for folks that have trauma, certainly, I understand. There are folks out there that don't like wrestling because the violence inherent in it triggers them. And so I am totally understanding of that. And I do my best to be respectful of folks that have issues watching even staged fights like professional wrestling. Try to understand that. But it is a shame that there's just some people that are just like, nah, dudes fight dudes, ladies fight ladies. And it's like, okay, well, who does Still Life with apricots and pears fight? Because they are non-binary. The Young Lions Cup winner right now in Chikara is the first ever known out and non-binary wrestler to be a champion in a major wrestling promotion. Now, do you just say, well, birth gender in that case, I guess? No, you don't. Chikara doesn't have to worry about it because Chikara has no gender divisions. So anyone is up to face against Still Life with apricot and pears. Or is it? I have to look up the name of it. It's not the easiest name because it's a visual gag. Wrestler. I'm just looking up the name. We're going to take our pause for the cause in a moment. Still Life with apricots and pears. Yes. It's a mouthful of a name, but it's a good wrestler. Great wrestler and interesting gimmick, just different. All right, I'm going to take a pause for the cause, then we'll get into building our Fenice. First and foremost, thanks so much for watching. I know that this is a weird thing because there's people boycotting Amazon, people taking a break from Amazon, all that stuff is happening. I totally get that, and I respect that and understand where people are coming from when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'm thrilled that people are hanging out. Thank you very much to the folks that are hanging out this evening. There are ways to support the stream. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave emote in there. Ultron's doing that. The Lego emote, any of the emotes, I appreciate that. If you have Amazon Prime, there's this whole thing where you can link to Twitch and have Twitch Prime and use your coin. Jam is here. If you're renewing via that, you have to manually do that. If you're using Cash Money, you don't have to manually renew. You can just click a thing and it will do that. I gotta check a thing. Hold on 1 second, folks. See if we can do that. Sorry. Hold on a second. Okay, you're right. A thing happened where a credit card of mine was declined on a purchase I made. Not Amazon related. Anyway, being a subscriber here on Twitch is very helpful to me. It's like the numbers go up, and that's awesome. and the money I make on that goes into me buying kits and equipment. If that's not how you would like to support the stream, you could also join my Patreon if you're interested. Here is the link to the Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1 tier, a $3 tier, a $5 tier, a $10 tier, and they get different things. There's different votes they can do. The $3 and $5 and $10 get to vote on games I play, on my bonus streams. The $10 can vote on what kits I build next when I have a backlog. They get to decide. $5 gets videos early. Patreon's very helpful. As I said, I won't link to my Amazon wish list today in solidarity with those that are striking, both in Germany and at least one other European country, as well as folks here in Minnesota, in the United States. So I won't link to my Amazon wish list, but I do have a coffee, ko-fi.com/PatBear, and if folks want to support me there, they're more than welcome to do that. Yeah, I think that's it. I have a Discord. Feel free to join my Discord. Build Bear community. I'll put a link in there. I don't have a new video today. I'll have, because I do every other week, basically twice a month, I do a closer look series. I don't know what I'm going to do for my next one. The last closer look, I just looked at all my Dragon Ball kits, and that was fun. But I don't know what I'm going to do for my next closer look. I might... I don't know. I might take a look at the two Sandrocks I have, because I have the Master Grade, and I have the High Grade 1/100. And I might take a look at those two and kind of compare and contrast since I just did them. I've been thinking that might be a fun video to kind of look at those two up close and really see the differences, because they are very similar kits. So the idea of really getting a close look, it's a good look at in those years, in that late 90s, early 2000, what the difference between a high grade and a master grade was. It might be fun to look at that. So I think that's what that'll be next Monday. It'll be out next Monday. I think that might be what I end up doing, but I haven't 100% decided on my closer looks. But yeah, I'm thinking about that. All right. So now I'll talk about some anime stuff while we build our Fenice. I did my sorting. I got all my sheets together. And now it's time to build. I got to update my sheets here. My shelves, I should say. But yeah. It's fun to work on a master grade in the 1/100 scale. I'm looking forward to it. Anime stuff. So, it started last week. I think it was last Friday or Saturday it came out. It's a show called Given. The first episode really drew me. I mean, the music has to be good because it's about the power of music in a band. There's a guy who's kind of like, guitar doesn't really mean much to him anymore, and then he meets a dude with a really great voice, and their mutual appreciation is going to start something. Something's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I've been told that there is some gentlemanly love in this show, so we'll be interested to see what the anime does, differently than the manga, if they're going for it or not. It's called Given. It's all underscored. It's definitely different than most of the stuff that I watch these days, so I am looking forward to kind of a different show and a different vibe. I don't have a lot to say. The first episode, like I said, music sounded good, which it needs to in a show about music. I'll be interested to see, the other members of the band. Something's going to happen. Sounds like a threat to me. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's certainly not a threat, Harold. But yeah, I mean, it's a drama. There's going to be a change in him. He's going to learn more about himself and music, and maybe there'll be some relationship stuff happening, and it's going to be a whole thing. And we'll see if that ends up being good or bad. I don't know. But I'm into it. Uh, what I'm not into is To the Sacred Beasts. Halfway through episode 3, I was like, nope. If someone later tells me, hey, you know that show that you gave up on? It turned great. This character got introduced, and this secret got revealed, and it turned the whole thing around on its head, and it's a good show now. I would say, not fucking likely, but alright, and I'll give it a second shot. But as it is right now, To the Sacred Beast, I am not enjoying and do not want to watch. It is kind of boring and kind of trite, and I don't think the character design is that good, so it's not even visually interesting. Like, it's just... It is a show where someone I know someday will be like, you know what show was really good? And I'll be like, oh, no, not that one. It wasn't that one. But it's going to be somebody I know's favorite show. I want to like it, but I don't. So, To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts, we are broken up. Like I said, if someone tells me later, hey, that show is actually great, turned around, I'll give it another try. Look, I said this before on streams. It's 2019. I can't convince you to start watching One Piece, or to come back to One Piece, or to get caught up on One Piece. I can't do it. But I can tell you that the Wano arc, which we're only really 2 episodes in, is like fantastic. The art is beautiful looking. It's the land of the samurai, so it's just like they're not taking risks, I would say. They're just going with a really interesting art style that feels very authentic, and the animation looks really nice. Seeing Zoro be awesome is so great since he wasn't in the last story arc. We haven't seen Zoro in fucking forever. So to see him be like a traveling Ronin is so great. Yeah, just great to see those characters interact. We got Luffy. Like, Luffy's had to be serious for a long time. And the Reverie arc wasn't really about him, so he couldn't really be goofy. But, I mean, it's this big animal shows up, and this giant animal shows up and hits the boat, and he's just like, hey, he hits 1,000 Sunny. He's like, hey. And he's like, wait, are you a dog or a boar? What are you? And it's just playful, fun Luffy. It's so nice to see. And you get to see him do some cool shit too. There's some cool shit. Look, there's also some cool shit. There's some cool fighting, and the art style is good. And it's just, like, I don't know how to say it. I mean, I'm saying it the best I can. One Piece is back, and that's a weird thing to fucking say. But holy shit, I'm so psyched about it. Like, I'm looking forward to the next episode. And even the Reverie, the thing with the Reverie, which was a mini arc, like there was the Whole Cake Island was the last really big story in One Piece, and it was long, and it was depressing, and it was tough to watch, and they cheaped out in places, and it was hard to look at. And then they had this really short little story that like didn't really go anywhere or do anything, and it's kind of theoretically taking place still as we focus on this other thing. But just feels like a breath of fresh air. There's a new song. I will say that if you're like, what Pat was saying good things about One Piece, and I used to watch One Piece, I'll check it out. The opening theme has fucking just straight up spoilers in it. It has it introduces like a bad thing happening to a character we haven't met yet, who's important in the story, and that's weird. But it straight up, the One Piece opening song ruins a reveal. And I know there's some manga folks out there that were just like, why would you do this? I don't care if it looks cool. Why would you do this? So that sucks. And that is the only thing that I am annoyed about, which is interesting for One Piece, because usually there's a lot of shit to talk about there. But that's really it. Damn it. Just dropping pieces sometimes here. These have to fit tightly. Fucking it up. Really, between Saturday's stream and... Because there are a few... Most of the anime I'm watching these days either comes out on Tuesday or... Did I show in time for anime out? Yes, so we just basically completed... Unfortunately, Monday nights I don't have a lot of anime to talk about because... there's always like a show that comes out on Tuesday. Most of the shows I've been watching come out on Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday. That just ends up happening this season. That most of the stuff that I'm interested in is coming out. So I don't really have a lot to talk about. Like, One Piece comes out right before I start streaming on Saturday, so I don't watch it until after I'm done streaming, which is good because it gives you something to talk about on Monday. But right now, like, have you looked at Artifort Feta? You know what? I haven't. Hulu. The only thing I'm watching on Hulu right now is Demon Lord Retry. It's a Monday. What show is that? Let me look at what that show is. Well, this guy's got a... Oh, this is the isekai about the guy that gets the shitty power. Like, a whole class goes to this fantasy world, and one dude gets a bummer of power, right? Look this up, right? High schooler, bullied. He and the rest of the class transported to fantasy world. All his classmates get powerful magic abilities. He only gains the ability to transmute solid materials, a common ability usually found in craftsmen and smiths. And vampire. And a bunny person. A dragonoid. Okay. Alright. It's another isekai. Okay. Well, Dirty Monkey, I am going to check that out. I am going to save this as my notes. Like I said, the only show I'm watching right now on Hulu is Demon Lord Retry, because it's an isekai that was kind of interesting to me. So I went for it. But yeah, I'll give that a go. I do genuinely like the idea of playing with the role of the isekai and playing with the idea of having a main character who is not strong. ReZero has a lot of shit about it. There's a lot about ReZero that's not good, but the overall premise, I think, of that show, I do like. The idea of just this dude just has no real abilities, I think is kind of cool. You got to show like isekai cheat magicians. We only seen one episode of it so far, but you get the sense that, well, it's called cheat magician, so I'm getting the sense that they're going to be overpowered. That it's almost like cheating. Like, that sounds like that's what that is. Demon Lord Retry. He's already one of the strongest characters in the universe. Even the joke of, do you love your mom, is that his mom is way more powerful than he is. Alright, yeah, so I'm going to check that out. But I was talking about One Piece and how One Piece is fucking great right now, and it's so weird to say that. But I'm loving the art. I'm loving hearing Zoro and seeing everybody do their thing. Yeah, and there's some good characters doing stuff as well. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We introduce a young lady, and that's uh, could be fine. Who knows if she's going to be an interesting character or not? But she's calling uh, um, Luffy Aniki, calling her big bro, and he's like, "Wait, where did that come from?" She's like, "You're my big bro." So that is already giving us a bit of a dynamic, which could be interesting. Or it could be not interesting. Who knows? I'll admit, I am now caught up on One Piece where I left off on the manga. I know a little bit about what's going on, but I'm mostly caught up, so that's interesting. I am now also caught up with Black Clover. The next Black Clover episode, I will have already will be stuff I have not read. So that's, for me, exciting. So we're working on the body of our Finise. I'm still way back in the 200s. Look, Whole Cake Island is a fucking slog. There's some really great fights in it. Uh, it just takes a real long time to get there. And it is, I think, overall a good story. And there's some good character work eventually, and like fun characters, but it's also a lot of fucking anime. They're in there a real long time. Whoops. So I connected these pieces here, and I forgot to add a piece. I didn't see it there. So now we get to remove that. We need this part because it is a rubber piece that we will use as a connector. So now I have to separate, and I'm going to get a sponger out, and I'm going to use my sponger to undo what I just did, which is sometimes easier said than done. But this could be tough because there's a lot of things that were connected here. So I'm going to take it slow and do my best. But yeah, like I said, I don't have any. I think I'm out of anime to talk about for today. I mean, obviously on Thursday I'll have a lot to talk about because I'll have. Let's see, what do I have? Oh, Black Clover, Are You Lost? Isekai Cheat Magician, Demon Lord Retry, and if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a Demon Lord. Are the shows that come out between Tuesday and Saturday and Thursday. Some of which come out a bunch of them come out on Thursday. I think Are You Lost is the only one I watched that's on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday is just Black Clover, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff, bunch of anime to watch, and then a bunch of stuff comes out on Friday this season. All right. I'll be checking them out. All right. So I separated the thing I need to separate. Now I can put in the part that I need to put in. Which is this rubber piece here. It'll make connecting the body to the waist actually work, which is good. Keeping my eyes peeled for stickers. There are some stickers. Obviously, a lot of them are going to be on the face. Probably almost all of them, but there might be some on the outside of the chest. So, yes, there's at least one sticker that's part of the chest. So, I'll keep my eyes peeled on stickers. There are some dry transfer, but none of them are like the F9 one or anything, where I feel the need to do any of these transfers. Maybe the XXXG01WFR. I might put that on there, but probably not. If there's anything you want to chat about tonight, folks, I will admit I didn't really do a lot. Yesterday I watched wrestling, Uh, oh, okay. Here's the thing I can talk about. Well, there's something you want to chat about. Feel free to mention it in the chat. But I will say this. I talked about it a little bit online today. So, um, when I got laid off, I was offered a very respectable but also deserved severance package. So while I was receiving that severance package, I could not apply for unemployment because I was making too much money. Um, so I did not apply for unemployment as the severance package was happening. Then the severance package ended, and I was working a bunch of stuff, and I was making just enough that I didn't apply for it. Well, the one source of consistent income of mine is dark. Is a theater that's gone dark for a couple weeks. So today I applied for unemployment, and I had to mail a thing in. That's the thing. I had to do some documents. I did it online, but you still have to mail some stuff in. There's some stuff I couldn't upload, which seems weird. That I had to mail some things in, even though I did it online. And it was confusing in some parts, and I knew what to do in others, and it's this whole thing. But the thing that I don't enjoy about this process, now certainly, there's something to be said for the fact that I don't like having to do it at all. Not the like doing it part, the fact that I am applying for unemployment and in this position, I certainly don't enjoy. Uh, I'm happy to have this help and all that, but I'm not like psyched about it. I'm definitely not like, haha, yeah, I'm winning, I'm getting one over on the US government or anything like that. The main thing is I'm applying for it and doing all this stuff as if it's going to happen, and they won't tell me if it is or not. So basically, I'm going to do all this work for the next couple weeks, and then in 3 weeks, I'll get a direct deposit or I won't. And that's how I'll find out if I've just been wasting my time filling out paperwork and doing these things and checking in every Monday. And look, I will say this. Sometimes they had a job listing thing that I didn't see other places listed, and I applied for a job that I did not know was applicable. So that's helpful. But I'm going to do all this stuff and have to, do some proof that I have been looking for work, which is fine because I have been looking for work. So it's not like I have to, it's not going to be hard to prove that. But I'm going to do all this stuff, but I don't know if I'm actually getting unemployment or not. And that's weird. That's a weird thing. I would love that to not be what's going on in my life. It's going to be annoying in a couple weeks if I find out I'm not eligible for unemployment. I certainly am. It'll just be a matter of did I apply for things correctly. And then because once I have it, when the job I have comes back into when they're done with their break, the hiatus, I should be able to just put in that I'm working that, and then how much I'm making, and then I'll be able to keep doing it. Dude wants to rug says, Pat, I feel for you since I've been there. Yeah, I mean, like, look, I'm complaining because the thing I'm not complaining about the fact that there exist programs to help folks like myself. I'm not complaining about that. I am complaining that that I'm going to be doing a bunch of work on the spec or prospect that it'll work out. That there's no way of saying you are approved for this or you're not approved for this. Don't every Monday do this and this and this. Like, focus on other things. And the amount that I will be getting would be helpful, certainly. I am, it'll be a peace of mind. It'll be like, okay, this amount per week means that this will happen and this will happen, and I can focus on this and this. uh, and the contract. And if I take any jobs that aren't on the books, like sure I can do that, and then once I get a full time job, then blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And it'll be easier to get back on it if I end up working a job that is, only for so many weeks and that kind of thing. But it is, yes, it is bureaucratic lottery. And as Lord Christian says, and then as Ultron says, it's so impersonal that it's discouraging. And that is definitely the truth. It is because, I yeah, hey, I chose to do it online instead of going in and filling out forms and cross-referencing a bunch of stuff. I chose to do it the way I'm doing it. But at the same time, it'd be nice if I could talk to a person and have someone just go like, "Yeah, you're not going to get this," or "Hey, I think you did this wrong," or "We need more information here." Like part of it is because I couldn't upload this document. Oh, this looks fun. This is a really nice green, and can't see it in this one. Ooh. Uh, but because there was a document that I had to mail in, I just have to hope that whoever opens that does it right. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. Putting a lot of faith in just somebody who answers the mail at Department of Labor, New York State's Department of Labor, to just be like, oh yes, well this document's here, and you wrote your social security number on it, so that means you're doing this. Just gotta hope. Blah. So that was the only real thing I did today. Other than I did announce, I hope it all works out. Well, thank you, Harold. I appreciate that. I did announce that 404ing It, which I have already said is returning to, in case you didn't hear, 404ing It, the show that brought me to the dance, is returning to PAX West after a brief hiatus. I'm back at PAX West doing the panel with Khalif Adams from Spawn on Me, Xandra from the internet and light novels and all the emotes that I'm about to spam in the chat. Uh, Lord Christian says, it sounds like when I got picked for jury duty, which consisted of me having to call in every day in the late afternoon to see if I got picked to come in for about a month before the automated line said I didn't have to call in anymore. Yes, indeed. Xandra, who's done a bunch of stuff, and joining us, I just announced today, returning. She was on the last 404ing It at PAX East before I retired the show briefly. Abby Russell returns to 404ing It. Excited to have Abby. Abby will be at PAX West representing Giant Bomb. I cannot tell you anybody else from Giant Bomb that is going or isn't going. That is not my place to say. I don't know. But I do know that Abby's going. She confirmed me today she's going. And that I could advertise that she's doing the panel. So that's Saturday. I'll have a full list of my panels. Basically, Friday night, I'm doing a panel. It'll be streamed on Twitch. Saturday night, I'm doing a panel. 404 It will not be streamed. I opted for a room that I could get that's a good size, but unfortunately could not get in the streaming room for that show. But I will film it. It will be available on my YouTube after the fact, which is good because well, yes. So Jeff is not going to PAX, which is one of the reasons why we didn't do League. We are not doing League of Heels at PAX West this time around. One of the reasons was because of that. The other reason was because John Drake is not going to PAX West because he was leaving Sony and starting a new job, which he now has announced is his new job is at Disney, and he had no plans to be going to PAX this show, which is why we're not doing a League of Heels panel. Because we didn't have Jeff and we didn't have John. Well, he's our champion, so it's hard to do the show. And there were a few other people that weren't necessarily going to be there. Pope is still working on a game that he can't talk about yet, so he's not getting sent out to places, which makes sense, but still sucks. Sooner or later, Pope will be able to say what game he's working on. Uh, but yeah, so 404 will be filmed. It'll be there. So I'm doing 404 again. I'm doing improvised postmortem. Mike Drucker is doing improvised postmortem. Uh, so I'm very excited. It's Mike's, I think, first PAX. Mike was going to come out to PAX East this year, but uh, and do improvised postmortem because he's done the only one we did at UCB. He did that one and was great at it. And Mike and I have known each other for years and years. But he unfortunately could not make it out to PAX East this year. So, but he's going to be PAX West, and I booked him. Haha! Immediately saw announced that he was doing that Simpsons podcast, and I was like, I'm going to get him to do that Bob Mackey runs, and I was like, immediately just like, hey Mike, I've got a panel this time. Can you do it? So I'm excited to have Drucker, and more will be announced soon for improvised postmortem. But yeah, this is Bob Mackey and his Simpsons podcast. They're going to be talking about the Simpsons video games, which is smart for PAX, and also smart to have Drucker, because I am sure he has played them all. All right, so I put a sticker on that was green, and then I put a piece of green plastic over it. So I don't even know if you can see the sticker, but whatever. They wanted it, so I did it. D15. And then it hasn't been fully announced yet, but I am on another panel, and I'll say what that is. There is one panel that I can't say that I'm what it is that I am on because we are attempting to get a better slot for it. I am attempting to help the person that booked it because I have connections to get it moved to a bigger room that it's in because I'm like, actually, people are going to come to this. So we're trying to move that. So that's not, I can't talk about that yet. But then also I am in a panel called, networking, making friends for fun and profit. Now, I'm not normally on panels that are purely helpful and not comedy. It's rare that I get asked to be on a panel that is not just a goofy comedy panel. But I am definitely on this panel to be a funny person. It is full of people who are good at what they do, but it's Trin Gaetano from Kickstarter, Anya Combs from Kickstarter, Victoria Tran from Kit Fox Games, and Kevin Budnick, who is an artist at Cards Against Humanity and does a bunch of stuff in gaming with cards. And me, the guy who doesn't have a job right now and has never worked in games, but I have a lot of experience being on the being a person on the internet, and I can talk about how to transition from being a fan to being a person that performs with people they are fans of, and I think that that is a valuable skill, and my experience in that of coming in from the outside, because I think I have a different. My story is, I worked very hard in one world, and then through luck and hard work transitions into another world, which is going from comedy into gaming. And I think that that might be helpful to some people to hear the how and why of how the fuck the first panel I ever did was a streaming panel at PAX East. That's not typical. How the fuck does that happen? Well, I can answer that because I lived it, so I can hopefully help people out with that. And then also just generally, be a person. So be a person there and be fun and funny. But like I said, it is rare for me to do a non-comedy panel. at PAX, so or anywhere really. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, like I said, there's a big one that I can't talk about yet. Um, that should be cool. And then maybe another one. I don't know. I might end up being on something else, but at the very least, I know that I am running 2 panels and on a third, and then also probably on a fourth. So, uh, and then my goal is, and of course I don't know, I can't say for sure it's going to happen, is that when I'm at PAX West, I'm going to try to stream. Um, that's all dependent on my Airbnb and how good the internet is. I believe the router isn't from photos. It looks like the router is in the living room, so I'm gonna bring a Ethernet cable. And when I do stuff from the road, I just bring my laptop. I use my laptop webcam for me. I use this webcam here on its stand, and then I can put it on a box or something and tip it down because I have bendy legs on the stand, and I'll do that. And hopefully that will work out. That's the hope anyway. Um, is that I can get that to work, and then it's kind of just like if the internet's solid. The place I stayed at PAX East this year, clearly that did not work out. I did make attempts for that to work out, but that Wi-Fi was barely existing. Like I couldn't download stuff. I could kind of stream things, but like I couldn't upload anything. So I'm hoping that this one is a better option. I'll give it a go. But yeah, the idea would be that I'm getting in on Thursday to Seattle. I'm getting in at like noon, and I can check in my Airbnb in 4. So I'll go and eat. I'll actually try to see if I can get in early. Hopefully, there's nobody there checking out, and I can just check in early. That's the hope, anyway. I'll say this appears to open up, which makes sense because that's where our pilot is. So you can see our pilot's in there. I don't know if you can see. Maybe you can see like that better. Got a pilot in there, and then the cockpit kind of opens up, which is neat. And then like pops off. Or it goes like that at least. That's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah, so the hope is that Thursday, since I went originally thinking that I was going to be tabling for League of Heels, I won't be tabling. So all I have to do is like get my luggage, go and get my badge, see if anybody's around on Thursday that can hang out. So the hope is that I can check my Airbnb and then stream when I normally do, which would be 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Stream for an hour, maybe not the full time, maybe just an hour, and then go about my business, get dinner, and hang out. And then Monday night, if it works out on Thursday, do the same thing on Monday. So I won't stream that Saturday, but I'll stream Thursday and Monday. That's the hope anyway. I can't guarantee it, and like I said, I also don't necessarily, it all depends on if the Airbnb like that I'm staying at, like if the Wi-Fi is decent enough. Let's see, J15 is over here. If the Airbnb is decent enough, then I will 100% stream if I can, or if the connection's good. And it doesn't have to be the strongest connection. You all know this. Like, it doesn't have to, necessarily be the best internet connection to work. It just has to be fairly consistent. Like, when I'm traveling, it's usually with a lower frame rate than I've got here, because here I've got Fios. And so I can, really amp things up. But on the road, it's just like whatever I can do. So that's the plan. In a perfect world, I'll be able to do that, and I'll have the time to do stuff like that, and see people, and kind of have a different experience. Kind of how it used to be for PAX for me, which was I actually saw games and saw people and went to them. Like I can get snacks at the grocery store and then have snacks in my backpack And those snacks aren't to keep me going as I stream, to keep my energy up, or as I stream, as I table. They'll be like, oh, now I have snacks for my friends. So when I go see my friends, I can give them snacks. I'm excited about that. Being able to be helpful. Because usually at a convention, I will have that I am just attending, either because I'm paneling on it or just going to visit, hang out. I usually have like little bags of almonds and maybe like fruit snacks, uh, maybe a big old package of jerky. Just options, so that when I run into my friends that are working tables or booths that can't get away because they're understaffed, I could be like, hey, do you want this? What if I gave you this? You know, just trying to help out. So we finished our body here. I'm going to do a little bit of the head. We probably won't get too far into it, also because there's going to be stickers, which will slow down our progress. But we'll get some of the head built here. As I said, this kit is the whole premise of builds. This and build fighters and build divers. Is that it's people playing with real, quote unquote, real kits from the show, from the different Gundams that they've modified. So this one is, the base of it is a wing Gundam that has like been optimized and changed around. Was Pat Baer the original lumber snack? Harold, I come from a long line of people that put snacks in their bag for their friends at conventions. It certainly is not a custom that I started. I certainly was doing it before Tom Dyke was going to conventions with his snacks. Certainly was there before him. But I can't say that I popularized it or originated it. But I certainly was doing it sooner. Oh, yeah. Or like the old a thing that I have offered lots of people. Hey, we know each other well enough. Do you want me to stand here and make sure no one takes anything while you go to the bathroom? If someone's tabling alone, especially that. Like, I did that with an artist that I know. Like, Kate Leth and I don't know each other super well. Kate is great. I'm a big fan. I like her work. I've bought stuff from her in the past. But her partner, I know, Cohen. I know him pretty damn well. We are certainly friendly. So the last time I saw Kate, I was like, hey, you don't need me to sell for you or anything. We don't have to do that, but do you want me to just guard your table, stand in front of your table while you like stretch your legs or get something or go talk to anyone? Do you need to do that? Because she was tabling alone. And it's like, that's a thing I can fucking definitely do for people. Like, if I go up to Bandland and Casey Egan is by herself, and because Chris is on a panel or something, and like she wants to like go yell at someone or hit somebody or stretch her legs or whatever, I'll definitely offer that. Like, that's an easy thing for me to do. It's like, hey, you want me to stand here? You want me to get you something? Do you want me to just be here while you go do a thing because you don't feel like asking someone to do that, but you'll do it? Like, that's an easy thing for me to do. I'm very good at. I am very good at standing around and looking like you should not come over here. I'm also pretty good at standing around like, hey, what's up? But I'm very good at no trespassing. But yeah, I mean, people do, that are tabling don't want to like leave their table the official liaison. I mean, Lord Cratchit, in the same way that, when we had the League of Heels stuff going on, I said that like if people need someone, come find me. Well, that also exists in this world of like, it's different running when I don't have a table, but like, if someone sees me at PAX West and they're not comfortable talking to an enforcer, they don't know any enforcers, like, but they know me, they recognize me from League of Heels or from Giant Bomb or from this, they should 100% be like, hey, I need help. Like, all right, I got a speaker badge. I know people's names. I have people's phone numbers. Like, yeah, people should 100% be, uh, if they want to, can certainly come and talk to me. Uh, that is one of the privileges I have at a convention like PAX, is that I can get people's attention. I can make things happen. In some instances, that's me saying, hey, I don't know who's in charge of media badges, but I have a friend that got rejected for a media badge, but PAX should want their coverage. Who can I talk to put someone in touch with somebody? And, maybe that'll lead to something. Or like, hey, this person, like, hey, friends, like, this thing is happening, or this person's uncomfortable with this, or it would be great if this was run differently, or I don't know if people know about this thing. Like, I have some ability to, I don't know if I can necessarily make things happen, but I can put some things in motion, or at least get the ear of people who otherwise wouldn't hear about things. I definitely want to do that if I can. If I can help people, I want to help people. You know? All right, we'll get a couple more pieces going here on our head, and then we'll probably end the stream in a minute or two as we slowly start putting this together. This comes together and starts looking like a model kit. This is an odd color. This like cream off-white. It's interesting. But yeah, I mean, that's like always been my thing in the past few years, is attempting to be helpful. If I'm gonna have uh, these perks, these privileges, hey, you might as well say, like, if I've got some privilege, I might as well do my damnedest to try to help other people. It's the simple things of like, people took me up on it. Every PAX that we tabled, which, we only tabled, 3 times? But each of those times, sometime during that weekend, a friend has come by to say, hey, you have a chair I can sit in? And it'd be like, yeah, there's a third chair that's behind this curtain, or it's over here around the corner if you just want to sit. Or, if I can have Vinny put his camera down for a couple hours because he doesn't need it and doesn't want to like lug it, go back to the hotel and waste a bunch of his time, and instead he can leave it with me, damn straight I'm going to fucking do that shit all the time. Like, if I can make life easier for people that have always made my life easier, I'm going to do that. I now don't have that ability because I won't have a table to show, but I certainly know that is a thing that I will do again the next time I can. It's only right. I think this juts out, but I think it's supposed to, so we'll just move on. I think this part will cover it. So we'll see. But yeah, try. And now it's like, okay, if people need help, if they need to find me, if someone texts me at, 10:15 saying like, hey, could you go to the grocery store that is on whatever street it is? There's a street. There's like there's a for real actual grocery store not too far away from the convention center. Be like, hey, could you go there and buy like 20 waters or 18 waters? Be like, I mean, it depends on the person, right? I'm not going to say yes to everybody, but there are a lot of people that'd be like, yeah, sure. There are some people that'd be like, yeah, no, send someone. Because not everybody gets that fucking, because that's, that's an ask. But, if I know somebody who's working like the indie mini booth and it's just them, and they'd like me to bring them a sandwich from Jimmy John's, and I'm already at Jimmy John's, Fuck yeah. Or as an excuse to go to Jimmy John's and get a sandwich. Or perhaps just say Jimmy John's, which is a way more fun name to say than it is sandwiches to eat. Although, at PAX, sometimes you just need it. In the same way that when I land in Seattle, I will land at like noon, but it will feel like 3 o'clock to me, and I will be hungry. And I will go and before I get my badge, I will go to the Qdoba that is near the convention center, and I will get 3 cheese nachos. Nachos on the side so you can dip them into the cheese, the queso. And occasionally get an extra order of nachos or cheese or just chips. But I'm going to get that. And I'm going to really fucking enjoy it. Yeah, the 3 cheese nachos, like shredded beef. I'll probably get shredded beef. I might get chicken, but you get them with the chips on the side, so that way you can dip them so the chips don't get soggy at the bottom. And then also you can take it with you to. I'm going to Airbnb. I'm going to have access to a fridge to take that with me. I'm very much like. There used to be Qdobas in New York. There aren't anymore. But I'm going to go and do that, and that's going to be like my first meal in Seattle. I'm really looking forward to that. It ain't good, but it's good, as we said already tonight. All right, that's going to do it. This has been Bill with Baer. I almost said 404. This has been Bill with Baer Workshop. Thanks for hanging out. I know that this was a kind of a weird one. It's weird times. I hope you all have a good night. I will have a game stream Wednesday. I'm gonna send emails out tomorrow. My bonus gaming stream. I think you'll be interested in this. I'm gonna bring up the name because I forget the name. I am going to be playing a Pokemon fan game, of which I have spent no time playing. But on Wednesday, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, I'll be playing Pokemon Insurgents, which is a fan-made Pokemon game. I'm playing that on Wednesday. I'll see y'all later. Thanks so much for hanging out. Remember to tell friends, subscribe if you can, share the news, the good word about Bill with Baer Workshop. And thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.